I've had the unique opportunity to go to Japan on 4 separate occasions. When I was very young, or 9, when I was in high school, when I was just out of high school, when I was a business person. There's a community that decided after World War II that the Japanese people did not understand the Americans well. And so Rotary International, 2 individuals, 2 directors of Rotary International, so not only in the international, but in the local chapters, made a decision to do an exchange. And they sent 26 kids to Shikoku, Japan every year, and Japan sent 26 kids to the United States, Madison, New Jersey. And I was able to watch this over a period of time and have the opportunity to really enjoy the culture of Japan on a regular basis. And one of the most important things that I took out of that was being able to stay with the Japanese people themselves. Now, very seldomly are you actually invited into their homes and to stay in their home. They're very much a big closed culture that way. But this was a unique opportunity that allowed us to actually live in the homes. And I got the opportunity one time to spend 2 days in the home of a indigo dye maker. And this gentleman was, I don't know, I was young at the time, he was an elderly man who made dye with the indigo dyeing process. And he walked us through and showed us how to do it, and then we were able to do it and sit in the dye, and it's not the most pleasant smelling. But I remember him sitting us down and explaining this has been his entire life, and how it was very meticulously done, and how the waxes were prepared, and how processes were created, and how this was provided, and what was given in a period of time, and then how you produced the dye, and then you designed it. Each design had a specific reason for it, an area, and he meticulously worked through, and he just didn't hand draw it. It was actually all measured out and metered out, far beyond whatever I could understand, especially because I spoke no Japanese. But what struck me is the time and effort put into it. The ability to continue to work hard at something for their entire life, to become this individual who is known throughout Japan for his ability to dye in indigo. And so a lot of what we saw was the patience involved, in the time frame involved, in the ability to stay present. At the end, a small piece of cotton cloth that looked like nothing became a beautiful item that is given as a gift to the Emperor of Japan. What type of lessons can you learn off of that? For me, it was all about time and effort being put in when no one else is watching. The ability to focus on something for years to perfect it to the point where you're at the pinnacle of your work, and to continue to stay involved and enjoying and excited about that process. And then finally, to package this simple piece, and the work involves to move a piece of simple white cotton into a piece of art that is considered at the highest pinnacle. And that wasn't because of some system or shortcut. It was because of the work that was put in to get there. So why I tell you this story is I would have never had that experience if I stayed in America and saw everything from the same perspective. The most dangerous lie in business isn't stay focused. While most entrepreneurs search for innovation in their offices, studies show 94% breakthrough business ideas come from experiences outside of the normal environment. When was the last time you let travel change your perspective? Companies that lead by global experience executives outperform competitors by 78% in innovation metrics. Your current view isn't just limited, it's becoming dangerously obsolete in an increasingly interconnected business world. One of the great things that we saw about the Israeli businesses that have come up is that they are so interconnected. And the reason for that is they are exposed to all sorts of things, specifically because every adult in Israel needs to actually do some military service. And the military service doesn't break them out by community or group, they put them together and everyone learns from everyone else. Many businesses, many innovations that the Israelis have created have come out of the areas of technology. What we found, what is hypothesized, is that because the innovation is so great, because they're used to working with a global group of people. Israel is a small country, so it's not unusual to have people from different ethnic groups come together in the military. And you spend 1 or 2 years in there creating a bond that is forever, and therefore innovation increases. What I'd like to encourage you to think about is maybe it's not just traveling to a foreign country. I'm going to suggest Japan anytime you can because it's such a spectacular country and thinks differently. But getting outside of your comfort zone, learning from new people, being open to a completely new culture. And honestly, that culture could be inside the United States or outside. It is just as easy to go down to the South, be it a northerner from Pennsylvania, go down to the South and have a different way of thinking and acting. Going out to Silicon Valley and the way they think and act there. Going into the Midwest and watching the ethics of a farmer. Or going and spending a week in a national park helping out the people who are keeping our natural resources in the United States. Or whatever country you're in. Moving from one culture to another is challenging. It will change the way you think. But involving yourself with the people, opposed to just seeing the sights, can mean the difference between what you do now and what your competitors are doing later. Great innovation is not found by doing the same things over and over again. It's found by getting out of your comfort zone. Maybe that means going to a different location. Maybe that means going to a different restaurant. My father actually took us to a different church to see how they worship differently. And I was allowed at the time in Israel to go into the mosque and see how they worship differently. And I've had friends who take me to Catholic church, or I had friends that took me to synagogue. All of which allowed me to see how we all think differently. And not only is it a good expanding cultural difference, but it is important for us to understand the cultures and understand who we are. In this world where we are more and more disconnected, stepping back and becoming more connected, becoming more open and learning more cultures allows us to become better people and create better things for our business, our customers, and our team. Because different ideas spawn different things. I'm sure the gentleman who taught me how to dye indigo cloth shook his head because I've never done it again. But I took those lessons and I applied them to multiple businesses. And those multiple businesses thrived thanks for an elderly gentleman teaching a Dell American how to bake cloth. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to look for areas where you can have a different experience. Now, one of my favorite experiences is to go to barbecue. Southern barbecue in the United States is one of the more diverse cultural foods that we have, and it's very simple. The people there make good food and make it simple. It's not 3-star Michelin, it's you're eating off a plastic plate. Try to find an experience that you're not used to. Go out and explore and spend some time not only absorbing the culture, but also absorbing the people. Have a conversation. Learn what they're thinking, what's important, and how they think. This will be the best way for you to change how it goes. Start simple. Start something around your area. I can guarantee you there's a number of cultures that you're not aware of that are happening in your area. But I encourage you also to travel. Get out of your comfort zone completely. Learn more from more people. It will make the biggest difference, and it will make a great difference for you. So what I'd love you to do is I'd love you to tell me what your next place is that you'd like to go. Right now, I'm thinking about going into Mongolia and spending some time with the indigenous people who use eagles to go hunting with. I'm also thinking about taking my son to the Galapagos, which I've never been before, to talk about ecology. And of course, I'm probably going to go back to Venice, only because it's one of my favorite places, and it's a melting pot of so many different cultures. Every time I go there, I learn something. Tell me what you're going to be going in the comments, and let's start a discussion. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos.
Want to transform your business with expert strategies? Schedule your strategy session today by clicking the link in the description below. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with venture gained. See you in the next video.